Hi everyone, welcome to another week of Trail Runs Live with our Trail Tales. This week I've got Howard Dracup on for you. Howard is a fell and ultra trail runner, mountain runner, currently based in the Lake District. He's done some pretty crazy challenges, especially over the last year. So we'll dive into those and learn a bit more about what you've been up to. But thanks for joining us tonight.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'm looking forward to hearing about all your kind of running and what you've been doing. I'm sure we'll kind of learn a bit more about that as we go on. It's been I don't know about you, but it's been a cold week here, running wise.
Oh, it's freezing. Hence a jacket in the house.
We've had loads of snow. Like I can't remember the last time we had so much snow, and I've just been trying to get out as much as I can running, but it's getting proper icy underfoot now.
Yeah, it's dangerous, isn't it, sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, I find once you sort of get going, you kind of get a bit of momentum and you sort of know where to put your feet. But you've had snow for a little while up in the lakes, haven't you?
Yeah, on and off, and it just seems to disappear and then it just comes back again. But going back to what you were just saying a minute ago, it's like you just get into like momentum and you'll get used to like a pace. And then what I tend to do is I switch off and then it catches me off guard. And then you get a bit of black eyes and you're like, whoa!
I know. There's one I was running this morning and I just put my foot down on one bit and all of a sudden my arms are in the air just trying to balance myself.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah, it's not good. But yeah, I think hopefully we've kind of, well, for us at least down here, it's a bit different in the mountains, but I think we've sort of seen the back of most of the big snow now, hopefully. So
yeah, it's getting a bit tedious now.
Yeah, a little bit. So let's get into your running, because I want to hear more about what you've been up to. If anyone's read the kind of intros that I put together for these, they'll know a bit about your exploits and the sorts of races you've done over the years. But when did you get into running, Howard?
I properly got into it at around 30.
Okay.
Started taking it a little bit more seriously at about 33.
Yeah.
I'm now 37. I thought I was 36 the other week until I went on to me and Maggie was looking on the ITRA, seeing how many points we had.
Oh yeah.
And it told us we were both 37. I think Maggie might be 38. But we both thought we was anyway. Yeah, I'm 36. I'm 37 now.
Is that because you ruled out 2020? You know, that year when nothing happened. So you're like,
yeah, yeah.
So you've gained you've lost a year. You haven't gained.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been about 7 years all in all, and then seriously, well, trying to take it seriously about 3 years.
Okay. And then when you got into it, were you straight away into the trails and the fells, or is that something that came a bit later?
Yeah, living where I used to live, it was just we were surrounded by hills, so naturally you just gallivanted off into the quieter places.
Yeah,
I always enjoyed running off road and running in the country in the nature, if you like.
Where was that?
Lancashire, like a little village called Whitworth.
Okay.
It's just on the foothills of the Pennines, so it's a really nice place for running.
What are you straight out onto kind of hills and?
Yeah, we're literally in a valley.
Nice.
Small village, and then to the left and to the right for miles. Yeah, we've just got luscious green pastures.
Nice. There wasn't much choice. It was kind of straight into the off road for you.
Yeah.
And what in terms of, because you've covered some crazy distances now, and you know, your running's taking you into the mountains and kind of more technical terrain. What racing wise, what was kind of inspiring you back then? Were you kind of dabbling in the sort of fell running scene or trail races?
So I started off running just for the mental benefits more than anything, and to keep myself trim, just to keep myself. I used to do a lot of bodybuilding and a lot of weightlifting, so the running, I just used to do it occasionally to begin with as a bit of cardio.
Yeah.
And then for the social side of things, I joined a road running club. Started doing some road running races, but my training was always done like more off road.
Okay.
And then about a year after I joined the road running club, one of the lads in the gym, he told me about he like introduced me, well, basically told me that like what an ultra marathon was, and he said come and do one with me up in the Lake District, and then I had a go at that, and that was my first race. I DNF'd. That was Tour de Hell Velin.
Oh wow.
And that's where that's how I got into off road like and mountain trail and fell running.
I mean,
initially I was a road runner.
Oh really?
Yeah.
What do you road run at all, or do you tend to gravitate away from that now?
I kind of did probably about a 50-50 amount of each to begin with. Maybe a little bit more off-road. But all my races to begin with were road races. And then when I got introduced to like running in the mountains and the fells, I started running and training in the fells and the mountains all the time. And then as you get a little bit more knowledgeable, I've come to the conclusion that in order to progress, I need to be doing some sessions on the road or flatter trails. Like I can't always be running in the mountains, otherwise I'm never going to get any faster. Well, you could do if you train, but I have started running on the roads a little bit more recently to try and get a little bit faster.
Yeah, that's interesting. I guess I agree with that. I think I know personally, if I'm trying to do more speed work and I'm aiming to, to put some fitness and speed into what I'm doing, then I'll kind of go flatter and possibly throw in some more road sessions as well.
Yeah.
But the majority of my running's off road, much like you.
Yeah.
I was going to say my next question was kind of what got you into the ultras, but it sounds like you just threw yourself in at the deep end.
Yeah. I think I've got what I've learned about myself over the years is I think I've got quite an addictive personality. And anything I ever go at, I don't do it in half measures. I just tend to just throw myself into the deep end, like you say, glutton for punishment. But with the ultra running, I've really, really enjoyed it and got passionate about it. It's not just been like a bit of a whirlwind. It's not just been like something I've started and then it's fizzled out. I'm in there now. I'm in there for I'm going to stick at it. I love it.
That's focus. Yeah. What you do, I guess.
Yeah.
What gives you that kind of motivation to keep going at it and progressing with the ultras specifically?
Good question. I really do enjoy. I think I enjoy the training and the routine and the discipline and everything that comes with it. It's like a jigsaw, and I just think I enjoy getting myself to one specific point and achieving something, and then just trying to bet. I'm just naturally like to try and better myself, I think, and I think that's what I like about ultra running. You kind of get to a certain distance or a certain elevation of what you can get to, and then once you get to that and you start doing that and it becomes easy, you start thinking, well, how can I make it a little bit harder? And I think
what is it with the ultra run? Like what are the sort of challenges? Is it purely the distance, the terrain, or is it the other bits that come into that as well? Because there's a lot of elements that sort of come together.
Yeah, you mean why I enjoy it, or
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
What makes it challenging, and what kind of keeps pushing you?
I don't quite know. I just absolutely love it. I just enjoy doing it all that much that it's just become a big part of my life, and it's just like it's just filled a big gap. Like before this, I didn't really do much apart from work, Monday to Friday, and a job that I didn't like doing. Then I'd come home on a Friday. You know, I might go to the boozer, and then I might go to the boozer Saturday, boozer Sunday.
Yeah.
That's how life was for years, from being 15 to 30, and then it got to a point where it was causing me problems. I had a bit of I had a nervous breakdown. I was really ill. I had to take 6 months off work. I was on antidepressants a lot, and it was running that kind of saved me in a sense. Do you know what I mean? It's like I basically started running just for to improve my mental health, and then I just started running a little bit further and a little bit further, and it's just filled that big gap in my life that because I've stopped doing all the rest of the stuff that I used to do,
Yeah.
I just replaced it with another thing, and I give that my all now, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, sure. I guess it gives.
If that makes sense. It's weird. It's quite a long story, but in a nutshell.
Yeah, I think it makes
It's basically what's happened. Yeah.
and it's not dissimilar to a lot of people's stories, I think, who get into these sort of distances and enjoying it a lot because it's something new that they can focus on. And I think I do agree that running and you know, when you challenge yourself, and this can be at whatever level you're at, it doesn't have to be that you're running really long distances. But as you start pushing yourself, you see yourself progress, and then you want to push yourself further, and it becomes a kind of ever evolving. It's like an evolving.
It's like an addiction, isn't it?
It is. Good addiction. I know that from myself, and you know, getting into it and seeing myself improve over time, and then you just want to do more and more. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that as well.
Yeah, you just want to start. For me personally, it's about self. It's about progression. It's about just advancing to that next tier up all the time, and just seeing how far you can get before you get knocked back a peg.
Yeah,
Once you get knocked back a peg, you need to think, why did that happen? How can I go and beat it? And then you have a little think about it, make another plan up, and have another go at it until this is what I do anyway. And then you have another go at it until you beat it, and then you find another challenge.
Yeah, time to focus, get back into it, find a different approach, work out what went wrong, and kind of attack it again. So your first ultra was a DNF then?
Yeah.
How far was that one?
About 38 miles.
Okay.
I think it's about 2,500 meters of ascent. It's like quite a tough winter ultra.
Yeah.
Certainly quite a big ultra to be doing for your first ultra anyway.
I know part of that too. And yeah, it's not one I'd probably take on as my first ultra, or not back when I was starting out. But
what happened is I took a tramadol tablet because I had a bit of knee pain, and I'd never taken the tramadol tablet before, and it really spaced me out. And towards like mile 30ish, I just felt really sick, and I just couldn't carry on.
Just called it a day.
Yeah, I just called it a day, and then 3 months later, the same organisers, they put another race on called LM42. So I went back and did the harder one, and I managed to finish that one.
So you didn't deter you from doing any others? You know, you kind of stuck with it. It's that kind of how I overcome that. Right, let's find another one. Let's go and attack it, and train a bit harder, or train in a slightly different way, and then
Yeah. Yeah, that was basically it. Yeah.
Oh, nice. And then I mean, you've progressed and progressed. So let's look at some of your other achievements over the last couple of years. The I hope I say it right. The Beacons Ultra.
Yeah, the Brecons Way Ultra, because there's quite a few. There's with different kind of variations to the name, but they're all along the bit of the Brecon Beacons Way. But this is the one by the GB Ultras, yeah, the Brecons Way Ultra.
All right.
Yeah, it was a 100-mile race, but I think in reality, I think it might have been about 112 or maybe 108 miles, but yeah, 100 miler.
Okay. You went on to win that one.
Yeah, that was my first win at an ultra. Yeah.
How was that? Were you surprised to win it?
I was really, really surprised because I don't know if you've heard of a really good ultra runner called Charlie Sharp.
Yeah.
So Charlie was my first coach.
Okay.
Charlie is an ambassador for GB Ultras. So Charlie was in the race. We went to the race together, and there was a bit of banter along the way. And I'm like, I wonder if I'm going to be behind you, Charlie, because he's a phenomenal runner, you know. And we were laughing and joking about it all the way on the way because we travelled down there together. We car shared. The funny thing with the Brecons Way is it's not a loop. It's like a linear. So you finish 100 miles away from where you leave your car.
Okay.
So the day before, we met up and we left the car at one end. We met at the end and then drove to the start. And then afterwards, at the end of the race, we drove back together to drop the other person back off at the other person's. We basically did a car shuttle. So there was a bit of banter. I was adamant, you know, I kept saying to Charlie all the way down, like, oh, you're going to absolutely smash it tomorrow. And anyway, race day came. I was in third most of the way, fluttering between third and fourth. And then I got to the last checkpoint. I knew I was in third at that point. And then I got to the checkpoint, and the man said it's so Charlie was winning.
Yeah.
And another man called Nick. We arrived at the checkpoint within a couple of minutes of each other, and Nick was still there. So he said, "You two are respectively now in first and second." And we're like, "Why?" And he's like, "Well, Charlie's in the middle of nowhere down there, running about in the dark or something. I don't know." Quite. I don't know what happened. Not at that point. I didn't know what had happened.
Yeah.
So then me and Nick just looked at each other, and it was bummed we were off. And I managed to. It wasn't marked, so basically I was following the GPX file on my watch. I managed to get straight on the trail, no messing, and it was about 5 o'clock in the morning, and the sun was just about coming up. So I turned my head torch off, and I'm absolutely pegging it down this trail. You know, I'm thinking, oh no, I'm going to trip up because I've not got my head torch on. Because I think Nick, he'd gone on another trail lower down, and on his GPX file, on his watch, it was probably telling him that he was en route, but I think he was on a slightly less runnable trod than me. I was on a really good path. So I've just got this, something's up. I'm just like a man possessed now. I've gone from being absolutely knackered to running 7-minute miles again. So I'm legging it, and I could just see the Nick and his pacer's head torch just getting further and further and further away. So as I couldn't see the head torch, I kind of relaxed a little bit. And I just kept thinking, he's really fast. He's going to catch me up. I couldn't see him. You know, he was a few minutes behind me at the very most. But I just kept telling myself he was on my heels. He was literally right behind me, and I did stop for about. I thought it was 100 miles, so I got to the 100-mile point, and I'm flicking through my watch, and it's telling me that I've got another 8 miles to go. So I just put my best effort in, like I was going for the 100-mile mark. And when I got to the 100-mile mark, I still had like another 8 or 12 miles left. So I'm absolutely knackered at this point. And I just thought, don't stop. So I really, really pushed hard. And when I got to the end, the organisers, I think they must have been in, I don't know, I don't think they were looking at the tracker. Because I got to the school where the finish was, there was nobody there, no finish line, no clapping, no. I just felt I was really happy myself. But looking back now, I thought that was the first race you ever won, and you didn't run through a line and get told a piece of a tape up, and there was no one took any. There was no finish line pictures, and I just thought to myself, what a shame that were. You know, your first win. And,
yeah.
It was a bit. Say that again.
A bit of an anticlimax.
Yeah, a bit of a funny anticlimax at the end, but I was absolutely chuffed to bits. So I was over the moon. Yeah, because it was so. I was so adamant at the start that, you know, Charlie was going to win. I think what had happened with Charlie is his head torch had failed, his first head torch. His second head torch, I don't think he might not have changed his batteries, put new batteries in. So his head torch has failed him. So he got lost.
Did he
Yeah, he pulled out after a while. He couldn't get back on track, and he must have been that pissed off. Yeah. When I got back to the end, he was sat there, and I don't think he was very happy.
Did he congratulate you?
He did, yeah. Good sportsmanship, yeah.
Yeah. And you've also done the Spine Challenger, where you came third. Is that right?
Yeah, up against Jim Mann and a Dutch fella called Woody.
Nice.
I don't know if you've heard of Woody. Both really good runners.
Yeah. So the Spine Challenger is like the shorter version of the Spine. Yeah,
they call it the sprint version, don't they? Because you can actually give it someone this race if you want. But I mean, I wouldn't recommend giving it some because
the Spine is it's the Pennine Way in its entirety, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which how many miles is that?
268 roughly. Yeah.
I thought it was around that. And then, so what's the Spine Challenger?
108.
Okay. I wouldn't be sprinting that. Not across the Pennine Way.
Not with a 7 to 8 kilo pack on your back, sleeping bag and all sorts. How
was that as an experience doing that one?
I absolutely love that race. Brilliant. I've done it twice, truth be known.
Okay.
Just over the 2:30, just over the halfway point, and I was too stubborn to quit, so I walked all the way to the end. I came 14th the first time I did it.
Okay.
And I knew that I could give it so much more. So I invested in another running coach, and ended up coming third the second time that I did it. But yeah, absolutely brilliant race. I absolutely love that race. I'm going to do the full Spine this year, I think, or next year.
Okay, awesome experience.
Yeah.
Just for those listening who aren't familiar with like the Pennine Way and the terrain, just tell us a bit about it's in January, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's in January. Pure winter time. You only get from 8 a.m. till like 3:30, 4 p.m. in the daylight, and then the rest of it you're in the dark. Pennine Way is basically like a national trail that runs all the way up the Spine, like through England, the backbone of Great Britain. Very boggy. There's a great variety in terrain. You know, sometimes it's really runnable. It's like farm tracks, a bit of tarmac. Other times you're running over pure moorland, and there's not even much of a trod.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you're running and there's not even a path there. You're just thinking, am I on the path? And then other times you're on that kind of really rough terrain, but it's been like people have put paving stones down. But the paving stones are a right bugger, because sometimes you'll be running on them, and one of them will be like, it'll look like there's a paving stone there because it's been raining that hard normally. All the paving stones have got like an inch of water or bog over them. So you'll be running, and sometimes there's a paving stone missing, and you'll just go up to your waist or your knee in bog, and sometimes it could hurt, sometimes it can make you laugh. And yeah, it's like a really relentless terrain, especially in winter time.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you want to challenge, the Spine is one of the big ones, and snow as well at that time of year. You know, can really.
This year would have been brutal.
Yeah, that's true. In those temperatures.
Yeah.
And you also went in. So last year, the year of lockdown and kind of no events happening. I'm sure I saw on one of the films I watched, you're out supporting one of the big FKT attempts on the Pennine Way. Is that?
Yeah, I helped John. I did the final leg from Burness over to the end in Kirkgate-on. That was a brilliant experience.
So that was John Kelly going for the FKT, fastest known time on the Pennine Way, which he achieved, didn't he?
Yeah, not for long. His friend Damien went and picked him a week or two later.
He had it for about a week, didn't he? How was that as an experience, running with someone like John Kelly, who's he's won the Barclay and
you feel a bit starstruck at first, but once you realise that they're just a normal person like you and I, you soon start to relax and have a chat. And 1 minute, something's just come up on my screen.
Right.
Yeah, good experience. Yeah. Watching him dig so deep when he was in such a dark place. When he first got to us in Burness, he was like literally he was either going to go. He was basically on the line.
Yeah.
He couldn't diminish anymore, otherwise he would have failed. And then we got him there, like I think it was something like 40 minutes up in the end, and he even had a 10-minute rest in one of the huts. And it was just amazing to watch, just how a human can just dig so deep.
Yeah,
he wasn't eating properly.
I recommend the film for anyone that hasn't seen it, of John's attempt, because he was not in a good way by the end of that, and it shows what those sort of events and that distance and terrain can do to even top athletes in this country. Yeah, and I mean, just there's something about just seeing people go for these events and even spectating at some of these tough challenges. It's incredible just seeing people put themselves through. I think it's an experience in itself. So did that. Let's talk about your lockdown running then. So you've been training. What event have you been putting in the training for?
So I thought about doing the Cheviot Go Ultra, which was meant to happen in December.
Yeah.
Last year. Just gone. That got postponed to January the 2nd. So I thought, right, I'll do that. So with having quite a lot of ascent in my legs and some strength, I thought I need to get faster now. I've literally just been running up, down, up, down. I've not actually got any running legs, proper running legs. Started running on some faster, flatter trails, and then the Cheviot Go got cancelled. So spontaneously, within 3 days, I thought, I've not done a Bob Graham yet. I've not recce'd the route. I thought, why don't you try and recce it all in one? It's a really stupid idea in winter. There's a little glimmer of hope that there's only one at that back on New Year's Day when I had a go. So back in December, just on about Christmas Day, there'd only been one man ever to do a solo unsupported midwinter Bob Graham. So only one man to ever accomplish that thing, and that was Martin Stone. But I think it was might have been about the 29th of December. Shane Hawley and John Kelly both went out on Rougher the same night, and they tried to do one.
Yeah.
So them two have been thinking about it for a little while. I'd been thinking about it for a day, and then them two went on, and I'm like, yeah, I said, what a coincidence! Like, I'm thinking of doing that. So John ran out of water. Everything was frozen. He couldn't really find any water to drink, from what I heard. Shane managed to finish it. So I think Shane did it in about 23 hours.
Okay.
So Shane was the second man to ever do it. And there was just a little bit of a glimmer of hope that I might be able to get around and just be the third man to ever do it. And I set off on New Year's Day at 10 o'clock at night. I felt good at the time, but by the middle of leg 2, I'd had enough. I just, when you just have them runs and you're just not feeling it.
Yeah.
I felt tired. I wasn't enjoying it. And looking back now, I think I've just not invested enough time, ascent wise, getting the elevation in prior to trying to do something like that. I've just been doing a lot of speed work because the Cheviot goal was only, I mean, I say only because it's not a lot to someone like myself. On 3,000 meters of elevation over 55 miles, it's a lot. It's enough ascent, but it's rolling.
Yeah.
If you cram 3,000 meters into a 15 mile, it's quite aggressive. But if you string it out over 55 miles, it's quite rolling. And I've done the race before, so I knew how much strength I need in my legs. So I did a hell of a lot of speed work. I won't call it speed work, but speed work for me. And basically, I just had the wrong approach. Looking back now, but it was a good experience. I took a lot of positives out of it, and I'm training to go out and do it again sometime soon.
Nice. I respect for trying that, because having done it supported and in what they call summer, it wasn't. Well, half of it was. I know how tough it can be, and I remember watching you go out on seeing that you were doing it, thinking, what is this guy up to? But fair play for having a go at that. I'd like to see you achieve that one.
Yeah, it's just that extra pack weight. You've got like 6 to 7 kilos on your back. It doesn't seem a lot when you put it on.
Yeah.
But after a couple of hours, you start to feel it. I think next time I ever go, I think I'll set off walking, just fast height a bloody lot of it, and then once I've eaten a bit of my food and took some bits and bats out of the back and it's lighter, maybe in leg 4, jog if I can. Do a bit of jogging if I can, and just try and keep under that 20. Just try and keep all under 24 hours.
It's doable, I'm sure. I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah, I won't stop till I've done
it. I'll keep an eye out for you doing that, because I'm intrigued to know what it's like as well. I can't imagine doing it unsupported, if I'm honest. After having people holding my kit for me and passing me water and things like that, you kind of can't imagine not having any of that.
2 different experiences, aren't they? Yeah.
Maybe one day I'll try it. You never know.
Yeah. It's good. I think that's the only way people are going to get to do things at the minute. It's all unsupported.
Great. So let's talk about the big one last year, the Parr round, as it's known. So you went out and took this challenge that the record had sort of stood for 35 years, if I'm not wrong. Is that right?
Something like so 84. Well, this is confusing. Well, it's not confusing, but I heard the record was set in 84.
Yeah.
That was the year I was born, and I thought I was 36. So I'm telling people it's 36 years old. I think in reality it's 37 years old now.
Okay.
I think Maggie thinks it's 35 years. Maggie keeps saying 35. I thought it was 36. And
it's around that.
It's about 37 years.
So the round or the challenge in the lakes is, so it's all of the Wainwright fells that are over 2,500 feet high. 62 of them, so it's over 42,000 feet of ascent in total, and around 115 miles of running. And you just decided to do it again for a bit of fun.
I've been training for UTS, Ultra Trail Snowdonia, 100-mile race. That got cancelled, and that was a 100-mile race with 10,000 meters of ascent. When that got cancelled a week before, I was like, what can I do? And a guy called Paul Wilson messaged me saying, have a go at the Steve Parr round. He said, I had a go last year. The challenge is X, Y, and Z, but you've got to come in under 48 hours to complete the challenge. But the record is 42 hours, 56 minutes, I think it was at the time.
Yeah.
So I thought, Brill, I'll have a go. I'll just come in under 48 hours. So I had 5 days to kind of go from doing UTS. It was really annoying because I just spent all that week. I spent months of training, and then what I do a week before a race is I get an A4 notepad and I literally write out absolutely everything. It's military planned on a notepad, everything. My checkpoint food, what I'm going to eat, my kit. I iron everything out on paper so that I can have a good night's sleep, you know, the week building up to it, that I've not missed anything. So I just finished doing that for the UTS, and then I had a week to do that. Plus I've been thinking about it for months as well. But with the Parr round, I had 5 days to organise it from absolute scratch. So for like them 5 days, I had so many. Well, there was all more or less sleepless nights, and we managed to plan it, get the people together. This is before lockdown. We was allowed to go with people. I managed to get out and have a go at it.
And you mustn't have wrecked it.
No, I literally just got. So when Paul Wilson messaged me, he sent me the GPX file. He sent me his schedule. He sent me a list of the tops. Martin Stone did as well, because there's quite a few. I think I was so there was obviously Steve Parr. 1, 2, 3. I think I was either the 6th or the 7th person to have a go at it. So they all had schedules. So I got everybody's schedule sent to me and stuff like that. So I had a bit of a look at it on View Ranger on the map. Sorry, what the question that you just asked me? I'm going off.
Oh, you went.
Yes, I wasn't able to wreck it. It was in. Obviously, I was tapering for UTS, and I wanted to try and set off on the Parr round on the day I should have been running UTS, so that all my coaching plans would come together perfectly. So yeah, I didn't manage to get out of recce any of it at all.
And how was supporting you and helping you get around?
With it being last minute, all in all, I think there were 5 legs. I've got a terrible memory. I think there was about 5 or 6 legs. Some people, Tonkin, John Parkin, Liam Mills, a couple of guys at the start, they did like 2 legs.
Right.
Back to back, carrying all my kit, it's quite it takes some doing when I'm there, full of energy, trundling up the hills, and they're carrying all my kit, and you don't realise that how tiring it actually is for the guys that are doing that, and for them to do 2 legs back to back. John was meant to be doing, I think, 3 or 4 legs. John retired after, and so did Liam after 2 legs. They were both meant to come all the way with me to the halfway point, use it as a good training run. And they were absolutely knackered after 2 legs. On fair play to them, it was fast paced. It was quite warm. They were carrying not only my gear, but their own gear, their own food, my water, everything between the 2 of them. So all in all, there was about 10 different people.
That's a decent thing. And I guess over that, that period of time, 40 odd hours, you're gonna need those people to kind of get you, support you and get you around. So you ended up doing it in 42 hours.
36, I think it was 42, 36.
I read you're about 19 minutes quicker, is that right, than the record around that?
Yeah, 36, 46, 56. Yeah. Yes, I think. Does that work out right? I think it was 42.56 or 42.54.
Yeah,
there's 2. There's 2. I think he did it in 42.54.
Okay, so you did about 20
minutes. So it was either 36 or 34. Okay. 42.34 or 42.36. I'll take anyone.
So were you expecting to be anywhere near that record? At what point did it become obvious that you were?
Being honest, coming into the last leg, so the first 5 legs were, first 4 or 5 legs, the first 36 hours or 30 hours were, I was really on it. I was like focused, everything was clockwork, everything just clicked into place. I felt really good. And then obviously over time I just diminished, but it happened. So I started on Thursday evening at 9 o'clock at night. The reason why I had to start then is because with it being with it being like planned on such short notice, and me wanting to go in 5 days' time, I had to go with what support I could get. So I could only get support on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And the way it worked out, I couldn't start. If I would have started Friday morning, early hours of Friday morning, for some reason I wouldn't be able to get some support. I had to go Thursday night. I can't remember the exact reason, but John Parkin was setting off for me at 9 o'clock on Thursday night. What question did you ask me?
At what point did it become clear that you were kind of on?
Oh yeah, so
did you?
Because I started. Yeah, I do this all the time when I'm doing a Zoom call with people or like a podcast. They'll ask me a question, I'll talk for 5 minutes and I'll forget the question. And then I'll just dead awkwardly just go quiet. And then
that's all right.
I just thought it's better to just say what was the question again? Yeah, so because I started at such a funny time, I did 2 full nights out. Like I went into a second night, and just as dusk was approaching, we're heading towards like the Scarfell region. And that was the most technical point of the course. It was just like dead rocky, dead bouldery. All I wanted to do, like when it went dark at that point, is all I wanted to do is go to sleep. But I managed to just keep on going. My body was fine, but my brain had turned to mush. And I really slowed down. But it got, even though it was like really good weather, it was still quite windy and it was still quite cold. You had to keep moving up on the tops. And at that point, everything just turned to, in my head, because I've been going for that long. Everybody else was saying you're doing really well, but in my head, because I'd gone from having some real good momentum to slowing down again, I was beating myself up mentally in my head. So I kept thinking, I can't wait for a sleep at Wasdale. I can't wait. So we got to Wasdale, and I remember getting to, so obviously my support runners, they've been with me at this point for maybe a good 8 hours. They leave me be and they go and do, they go and replenish themselves. And I go to the front of the camper straight away to take my contact lenses out to have a sleep. I've not had a sleep in 36 hours or something. I
wonder you were tired.
Yeah, but the thing is, that day as well, I'd probably been awake for, so I've been running for 36 hours, I've been on the move for 36, but I've probably been awake for about 48.
Yeah, true.
Do you know what I mean? Because of the time I started at. So as I go to the front of the van and I'm on my own, Maggie's making me getting my stuff ready, and I just remember saying to her, I could cry, tears were welling up in my eyes. I don't know why I could have cried. I'd never ever felt that way in my life. It was weird. Like, if my friends hadn't been with me on the approach to the camper van, I'd said it out loud to everybody. I'd said, if you want, lads, because I've slowed down a bit and I'm not on time, if you want to get off, get off. I'm going to have a bit more time in the van than what I would have had. I might have an hour or two sleep and then I'll crack on in my own time. I'll carry my own bag. And they said, no, it's all right. We'll stay with you. And it's a good job they did, because I might have bailed.
Really?
I don't know. I might have. Well, I think Maggie would have taught me out of it. But when I got to the camper, I was in this. I'd never been this emotional in my whole life. When I was talking to Maggie, I was getting ready to bawl my eyes out. I was really tired. I think I was just like a narky baby. So I told Maggie, I said, I feel like I could cry. I said, this is the hardest thing I've ever done. They were my exact words. I was just being honest. I said that this is the hardest thing I've ever done. And as I was saying it, when your voice is shaking a bit.
Yeah.
And I just took my contact lenses out and literally just got in the sleeping bag and had a sleep. I told them to wake me up in half an hour. I think they woke me up after 10 to 15 minutes. They tried to trick me. And they did trick me. I did believe that I'd had half an hour, but I think I'd only just got to sleep. So I explained, look, I've only been asleep for like about a minute or two. I just got to sleep and you woke me up. So they give me another 10 to 15 minutes. So I did have half an hour in total then. Okay. And after that point, then we were climbing out of Wasdale and we were climbing into like sunrise. When we got on the top, the sun was slowly coming up. And at that point then, I just thought, there's no way I'm going to break the record. Because up until that point, I still could, at that point, I knew that I was still on time to break the record. It could still be done, but the way I was feeling, how mentally tired and fatigued I was, I thought there's no way. I kept thinking that when the sun come up, I might have this new lease of life, but that didn't happen. I had to have another sleep up on the tops, and at that point, then I kind of give in a little bit. I thought the battle's over for the record. Just enjoy it the best you can now and come in under 48 hours. And at one point on the way into Buttermere from there, I kept thinking, your 48 hours has gone out the window. I was in a really bad place. I was really tired. I'd said to the lads that was with me, I'd said, I'm going to have a little sleep in the camper van for half an hour when I get to Buttermere, and then I'll crack on after that. When I got there, Tonkin was there, Dan Armstrong, Chris Richards, and Martin Stone was there. He's like in charge of all the long distance records. And they're all saying, come on, you can still do it. The record's still in sight. All you need to do is keep moving from here to the end at 2.5 miles an hour. And I'm like, I just told myself all the way into Buttermere that I'm going to have a sleep. I felt really, I felt nice knowing that I could have had a little sleep. So I'm thinking, why are they doing this to me now? Like, I just literally taught myself out of what? I told myself that the record was gone. I told myself that 48 hours was gone. And then they're telling me now that I can still do the record. So I'm like, this kind of like woke me up and sent me into a state of shock. I'm like, I literally got into Buttermere. They sat me down on a chair, whipped. I was literally just held my arms and legs out. They whipped my kecks off, whipped my top off, put a cap on my head, slapped a load of sun cream on my arms. For some reason, changed my trainers. I don't know why I let them do it. It didn't cause any harm, but the trainers on my feet were fine. I would have been all right with them. Yeah. I let them change my shoes, my socks, everything. It was like Inspector Gadget. I just held my arms and legs out, and all these things, all these new kits appeared on me, and off I went. And I just explained to the new set of lads that I feel dog sick on all the climbs now. When I'm climbing the steep hills, as soon as my heart rate gets elevated, I feel sick and I can't eat, and I feel grim. So we took it really easy on the climbs, just kept my heart rate in check and my breathing. I just kind of said to the lads, I'm going to have to stop speaking. I said, because even just to talk to you, it's making me feel a bit, it's draining me. Yeah. So they're all cracking jokes. I'm just taking it all in mentally and laughing in my head. And then when we get up on the tops, I go into a bit of a yomp with my poles with me. And then I jogged all the descents. And then once I got on the tarmac then, and I knew I was like 20 minutes up, I just, the last straight into Keswick, I was like, I knew I'd done it then. I thought, there's no way, nothing can go wrong now. Not unless I fell flat on my face and knocked myself out or something, but...
It's awesome. And there's no better feeling than getting to that moot hall, is there?
No, God. Feeling it, just a great feeling.
That's where the photo that I've used in the ads came from, right? The one with the beer. Is that from
Yeah.
That? Yeah.
That's from the finish line.
Did you actually drink that beer when you got there?
I did, believe it or not. No, I am practically. I mean, I can't say I'm teetotal because I do occasionally have a drink, but I might as well be teetotal. And when I got there, I seen that beer, and I had a sip of it at first, and I was going to decline, and then I just thought, you boring bugger, just it's only a pint, get it down your neck. I literally had it, and within about 2 minutes, my lips had gone blue.
Anyway.
It was like ice cold, and even though it was a nice warm day, and at that time you're in the shade, and once you've been on the move for that long, it doesn't take long to get really, really cold. So it's like shivering, my lips went blue, and I just went to everyone, I don't feel so good. And wrapping blankets around me, put my leggings on, and I just said, I need to go home. I drank the beer, and then off we went, and I just fell asleep straight away in the car then.
If you ever deserve 42 hours, that's when you can.
Yeah, it tasted good.
No.
But it was market day as well, and because it was like, even though it was COVID times, but we wasn't on a lockdown or anything, and there was all like a one-way system. So as I'm running towards which side you'd normally run up the steps to finish, there's like a security man there with a high vis vest on, and he wouldn't let me run up that way. I had to run up the one-way system. I had to run all the way around the back of the church and up the other side of the steps.
Not what you want, is it? Just in the finish.
Yeah, and then I tripped up going up the steps as well in front of everybody. There's a video somewhere.
It doesn't matter. I'm sure people after that long and the tiredness as well. And that's an awesome achievement. You know, there are some big kind of rounds and challenges, and that's one of them. So yeah, that's awesome, mate. Do you think you've put it on the radar now with more people?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think my record will last this year. I think I'm adamant it'll get broke this year. Like you say, I'm by far from one of the. There's many more better long distance forerunners in the ladies tour than me.
You've shown that you can go out there and get it. So
yeah, you know, I set a benchmark now, and it's there for people to keep smashing to pieces now. You know.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if anyone does take it on.
They're always there to be broken. That's why I say, and you know, if people break it, fair play to them.
I definitely, I agree with that. It's always good to kind of see people going at it and you know, trying new challenges, setting new records, and then you know you'll come back around and take it again one day when you refocus your training, maybe.
I know myself, knowing what I know now, you know, with having done a recce of it in a sense. There's some better route choices, and if I would have set off in a more relaxed state, like I didn't have 5 days prep, and I would have had a better night's sleep, like I set off in the morning at maybe 4 a.m, 5 a.m. Yeah. I think I could easily, with the better route choices now as well. You don't have to drop. I didn't have to drop down to Wasdale. That was just a good place to get road support. I could have had the lads meet me up on the tops, and then the pacers exchange on the tops rather than in the bottom of Wasdale, stuff like that. So I think I could go under 40 hours. The right man could do that in 36 hours and under, supported in summertime on the right day. I think
that'd be interesting. See if anyone goes this year. What does 2021 have in store for you? You got any plans, or are you just kind of seeing how it goes?
So I want to have another go at another unsupported Bob Graham sometime soon. I've paid for Cape Wrath.
Oh yeah.
I was meant to do that last year, but that got cancelled. Wouldn't surprise me if that got cancelled again this year.
Yeah.
But fingers crossed it will go ahead.
When is that one?
The end of May.
I thought it was May, yeah.
Yeah, like the last week in May.
Yeah.
So anything can happen with that one. But I'm a bit skeptical. I don't think it's gonna go ahead.
No, you just kind of see at the moment. Take it week to week, really, and see what happens.
Maybe do an unsupported power round or something. Have a go at an unsupported power round if that one doesn't go ahead.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting one.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, just keep training in the lakes and enjoy it.
Yeah, I enjoy the training. So some people, a lot of people. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to find out. But some people just tend to sit back and chill when there's nothing to train. They just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Some others carry on training in the hope that things might happen and still enjoy it. And I'm one of them that carries on training and still enjoys it, kind of guys.
Yeah, I think I'd sit with you on that one.
Yeah, always be ready.
Yeah, it's sometimes hard to keep the motivation up, I think, but
yeah, it is. Yeah,
if you've got something at the back of your mind that you're aiming for, it does make it a little bit easier. So
yeah, definitely.
Being able to get out in nice places, on the trails, on the fells. I mean, we don't have any fells around here, but we have plenty of trails, and it's just nice to get out off road, explore a few new routes if you can. Keeps it interesting. So
just got to make the best of a bad situation at the minute, haven't we?
Yeah, exactly. Try and keep each other motivated as well with these sort of stories and plant ideas in people's heads. Not that I'll be trying a power round anytime soon. But
you've done some really good, really fast stuff. I can't believe it. When I see you finish your crazy epics, and I think, geez, how's he ran that far at that pace? I can only sustain that pace for 10k.
I don't know. It's just one of those things, like the training and just targeting. So I will see how.
Death by cordial. That's not a COVID cough.
That's all right. But yeah, no. See how that training goes and pans out, and then I guess we'll all just take this year as it comes. But no, awesome. Thanks for your time tonight, Howard. It's been awesome to have you on and hear about your what you.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me.
No, thank you very much for coming on. You've got some great stories, and the things that you're talking about can only inspire people to go and look up some of these routes, these challenges.
Yeah.
Give people something to aim for, hopefully, when we can get a bit further afield as well. I'm looking
definitely
up to the lakes at some point.
Come visit when you can.
What, sorry?
You have to come visit us when you can.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I'll drop you a line next time. When we're able to get up that way. Where's best for people to check out your running? Is it on Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram. Just Howard Dracup.
Okay.
Howard Dracup Mountain Strong coaching.
Go and look up Howard if you want to get some photos of the mountains and see what he's been up to. Keep an eye on that unsupported Bob Graham.
Motivation.
Yeah. And we'll be back here next Saturday for some more trail tales. In the meantime, you can catch up with what we're up to at Trail Runs UK on Instagram or over on trailruns.co.uk, or you can find us on Facebook as well if you just look up Trail Runs. I'll be posting what we're up to and who we've got coming up and everything like that. So hopefully some content to keep you motivated throughout this winter and lockdown, but hopefully we're seeing the back of most of the cold weather now. Starting to the spring.
Yeah, embrace it with open arms.
Well, thanks very much for tonight, and
cheers,
we'll hopefully catch up with you soon. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, take it easy.